and your audiences to end the carnage and keep our country safe. And he has overwhelmingly delivered on that promise. He immediately declared a national emergency on the southern border, deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion, and ended reckless catch and release policies. And as a result, between the inauguration and April 1st of this month, only 9 illegal aliens were released into the United States of America. This is a staggering 99.99% decrease from more than the 184,000 illegal aliens who were released into the country under Joe Biden during that same period last year. You can't get much better than 99.99% decrease. Total attempted illegal crossings at the southwest border hit a record low in February, only to fall to another record low again last month in March. President Trump signed the Laken Riley Act into law, requiring illegal aliens arrested or charged with theft or violence to be detained. And he reestablished the successful Remain in Mexico policy from his first term. The president has also restarted construction of his signature border wall. More than 85 miles have been built and are in various stages of construction and planning. He designated cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, invoked the Alien Enemies Act to apprehend, detain, and remove these massive threats who have flooded our country. And the Trump administration, as you heard from our border czar Tom Homan earlier today, is working literally 24/7 around the clock to successfully arrest and deport illegal criminals and foreign terrorists from our communities, your communities. We're in the beginning stages of carrying out the largest deportation campaign in American history. And despite the legacy media's fear-mongering and lies about this, we will continue with these successful operations because we know that's what the American people are expecting from this president, and that's why they overwhelmingly reelected him to this office. Over the past weekend, it was announced Operation Tidal Wave was a joint effort in ICE Miami and Florida law enforcement agencies. Nearly 800 illegal aliens were arrested during the first 4 days alone. I don't know if we have any Floridians in here, but you're welcome. Operation Tidal Wave is a preview of what is to come around the country. Large-scale operations employing our state and local law enforcement partners to get criminal aliens off our streets. And we will not apologize for this. This is the first of its kind multi-agency immigration enforcement operation coordinated by ICE with federal partners. And this multi-day operation has so far resulted in nearly 800 illegal aliens apprehended in 4 days, including MS-13 murderers, rapists, drug traffickers, and human rights abuses. So, safe to say President Trump made a promise to all of you, your audiences, and the American public to secure our nation's borders. He has overwhelmingly delivered on that promise. And you will see the legacy media has nitpicked stories to try to drum up sympathy for people who broke our nation's laws. This White House has sympathy for American citizens, for law-abiding families who are doing what's right, who came here the right way. That includes legal immigrants who have come to this country, paid their dues, waited their turn, and are now being cheated and ripped off were being cheated and ripped off by the previous administration. We are putting Americans first every day, and we applaud the ICE agents and Border Patrol agents who are on the ground doing this important work. That's just the border. Of course, the president has been working incredibly hard to unleash the might of our economy here at home. He's in the process of negotiating fair trade deals abroad with many countries around the world who have come to the table because the president is using the leverage of this office of the United States of America to leverage our economic might and to cut good trade deals. You also look at what's happening on the world stage when it comes to foreign policy. The president has put the world on notice. They all understand that we have a commander-in-chief in the Oval Office who is going to put America and our troops first, who's going to do what's right for our country, our nation, our people, even if that means making tough decisions. And
on today's channel, we are dissecting a standout moment from the White House influencer briefing, when Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre claimed a 99.99% decrease in releases of undocumented border crossers. We'll unpack the data, the policy shifts behind it, and the human realities at play. Let's dive in. First, let's frame that claim. The prior administration, between January 20th and April 1st of last year, reported roughly 184,000 releases. That's about 1,600 per week. Under today's numbers, just 9 total releases translates to around 1 or 2 per week. But how did we go from thousands to single digits? Key driver: the end of catch and release. Under catch and release, migrants apprehended at the border were often given notices to appear in immigration court and released, sometimes because detention space was limited or humanitarian reasons applied. Today, the administration has declared a national emergency, redeployed Border Patrol and active duty troops, and severely tightened release criteria. Here are the major shifts. End of catch and release. Almost no one is released pending court, except for rare medical or protection cases. Remain in Mexico reinstated. Asylum seekers must wait south of the border for their U.S. hearings, drastically reducing detentions inside the U.S. Laken Riley Act, passed into law, mandating detention for non-citizens charged with theft or assault. Border wall construction. Over 85 miles built since January, intended as a physical deterrent. Together, these moves funnel nearly all apprehended migrants into expedited removal processes. That's why releases plummeted from 184,000 to just 9. But raw numbers don't tell the full story. Last year's 184,000 figure included a wide range of cases: families, single adults, unaccompanied minors. This year's 9 are almost certainly exceptional humanitarian cases. Meanwhile, enforcement has only shifted where migrants end up. Many are now expelled under Title 42 health authorities or held in Mexico. Critics warn that draconian enforcement can drive desperate people into more dangerous routes, over rugged terrain, smuggling networks, or hidden crossings. And detention capacity, though expanded, remains under scrutiny for conditions and due process concerns. I reached out to immigration attorneys and aid workers. Attorney Maria Lopez tells me many asylum seekers lack legal counsel and face swift deportation without a fair hearing. Aid worker Carlos Ruiz says people who once trusted the U.S. system are now terrified to approach the border, even those fleeing violence. These human elements often get lost behind headlines, but they reveal the real impact of policy. So what's next? Legal challenges are already underway against the expanded use of Title 42. Congressional debates over funding for detention versus processing will intensify. Humanitarian groups are ramping up advocacy for safe harbor pathways. Ultimately, this 99.99% decrease is a marker of an aggressive enforcement stance, but it also flags ongoing tensions between security, legality, and human rights. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more in-depth explainers. Drop your questions in the comments. What do you think about the administration's border strategy? And don't forget to share this video to keep the conversation going.